Ah, he's got a gun. All I have is this weird box thing. I have no chance against this. I must take my own life. Wow, I even missed with the first couple of shots.
Yeah.
Hello,
no
this is
biggie.
Regdrin, and along with me is Jay.
Hello. Oh, hello.
And we're in the second level of the second episode. And this is where the routes start to really matter, because, I mean, for example, I went to grab that rocket launcher to the side, because if I went straight forward, there would be a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
For example, that guy with gray pants there, he dropped grenades. The reason is, he's got a grenade launcher.
Oh man, those the coolies, man. You always think they're trying to hand you some type of fruit basket or whatever, and that's just not the case.
I don't want that kind of fruit, man.
You always gotta be careful, man.
Yeah, and it's always annoying for me to deal with them with a single Uzi because it doesn't push them back that much.
Right. Yeah.
Now, I was careful with the timing. I was waiting until I could see at least one of the enemies on that bridge.
Okay.
Because those guys are pretty nasty, too.
Huh. I didn't know you could blow up well, I mean, I guess this is standard for all these types of games. I didn't know you could actually blow up the barrels with the shurikens.
Oh, yeah, any damage will do it. Including your punches, if you really want to.
How does that work in real life? I wonder. Would you really be able to
I don't
blow up
know.
TNT
I punch
with a
explosive
shuriken?
barrels all the time, but strangely nothing happens.
Yeah, it's normally an endeavor I use to, whenever I'm going out getting the mail, it's usually some type of barrel. I just try to throw a shuriken. It never works for me, but I'm glad it's working for you so far. So.
The two enemies I killed were one with a grenade launcher and one with orange pants that fires heat-seeking missiles at you.
Yes.
Now, remember how I said in the open they'll track enemies forever when you use them? Well, guess
yes,
what? And they have a pretty sharp turning arc.
Wow.
Yeah. And this place looks reasonably straightforward, but I actually died several times getting the hang of that part. The normal enemies can get in between my rockets and the Shadow Ninja a lot. Yeah, and one thing I didn't mention about the railgun, it's really nice for opening up those exploding walls.
Didn't think of that at all on my end. Did not think about it. I didn't want to waste the ammo. I'm like, this is so precious to me. It looks really nice, so I'm just going to save it for something else. So,
believe it or not, I find that railgun ammo, at least if you know where the secrets are, it isn't that hugely important. I find it to be less valuable than rockets. And the reason is that for the really dangerous enemies, like the thugs with rockets or grenades or the Shadow Ninjas, the railgun just doesn't do enough damage per hit. It takes 2 or 3 and its fire rate is really low.
Yes, definitely. Accuracy's kind of off a little bit.
Oh yeah. Especially when auto-aim is off, you'll notice that the aim is not actually centered on the crosshair.
Yeah, I did notice. Like, I was aiming at somebody. I remember I was trying to aim at somebody on a boat once, and then I shot at the ceiling or the moon or something. It was way off. So.
Well, I think that was auto-aim, but in another level or two, I'll show you exactly what I mean. And this is a nice little trap. You can either dodge behind the pillar with each one you set off, or you can run right through the middle and nothing happens. Now, this is for the first place I really show off the Ripper Heart, because, I mean, there were 4 guys with rocket launchers out there that I didn't want to deal with. Or I could just summon Double Me, which uses a railgun, and it actually fires the railgun much faster than I do.
So the Ripper Heart calls out the... Okay, so that does call out the clone of yourself, correct?
Yeah, and it can shoot. And the best thing about it is enemies won't shoot at the clone. So you can summon the clone at a difficult room, then duck behind a wall, and the clone will just kill everything.
Wow, I did not know that. That's no ordinary Wang, I guess. So that's...
Yeah, that's why the Ripper Heart is just an amazing weapon. Like, you saw that I opened up a secret, and the only thing I got was a Ripper Heart.
Right.
But it can clear out a room, so hey.
Yeah, definitely. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. I keep hoarding my Ripper Hearts. I don't know. I'm like, I'm going to use them eventually, maybe. So
this is one thing that I really like about the playstyle where I just remove all my gear between levels. It really gives me sort of a different state of mind where I'm free to use anything that I have because I would get rid of it at the start of the next level anyway.
Right. Very true, very true. That grenade launcher, that thing does some work. If you need to clean a house and you don't feel like getting, the Windex, you just...
Combined with the grenade drops in this level and the enemies that drop them, pretty much when you get the grenade launcher in this level, you can pretty much blow up everything else from then on.
Yeah. Most definitely. It's looking really... I love the grenade launcher. I mean, if you are in need for some spring cleaning, I mean, you just whip that thing out. It's game over, so...
Yeah, and that trap that I just set off, the one that sort of jumped up and exploded when I walked in, yeah, that killed me a few times before I realized what was going on. I was like, did something shoot at me and I didn't see it?
You know what I've been doing with some of the doors, so I don't get confused as to which ones I've opened.
Yeah.
Like, you know how there are two. You'll see the key when you open, just the keyhole when you open the door, and then when you exit. I've just been putting them both in there.
Yeah,
so
that's actually not a bad idea. I don't do it very much, but maybe I should.
So.
Now there are a couple of more uses for the railgun that I wanted to get into before we completely lost track of that. It's very nice for... Well, it'll kill a coolie ghost in one shot, and those can get really annoying when they start teleporting and disappearing.
Yes.
Especially when I'm recording and I don't want to waste time. And it's also really nice for killing the guys that hide behind cover, because they shoot a lot more than the guys that walk around, and I want to kill them pretty fast.
Right.
Now... What's going on here is there's a couple of enemies just outside the entrance, and it's a little tricky because that one in orange pants I told you really dangerous, but
yeah,
I don't want to be right in its face when I fire a rocket at it, so the delayed action of the sticky bombs was pretty useful there.
Yeah, I noticed that you missed like the first shot. That's happened to me so many times, and then the bomb will just sit there, and I'm like, well,
yeah, well, in that case it was okay because the second one set off the first one,
right? And
it would take 2 bombs to kill it anyway.
Okay.
And I like how we didn't even mention the nuke at this point. It's just sort of par for the course.
Yeah.
Well, there are some enemies in there, and I don't have to go in there right away, so the fallout is not a huge deal.
Yes, yeah. I mean, you don't want that...
Yeah, because while it's clearing, I can go this way and just grab the key.
Oh, that is right here. I'm actually surprised. I mean, so you have a mini nuke and things like that. I mean, are you not afraid of radiation poisoning? Is Lil Wayne just that fearless? Is that what's happening? Or?
Either that or he's old enough that by the time it catches up to him, it won't matter.
That's kind of true. Yeah.
I don't actually use sticky bombs that often, though. Usually I need to kill the enemy immediately, and sticky bombs are not great for that.
Right.
Now this sequence gave me a lot of trouble, to the point where I saved just before opening that door just so I could get it down. And it isn't because of these guys I'm shooting with the grenades. It's because of the hornets behind them, because they're out in the open air, so I can't use a grenade or nuke to get rid of them.
Right.
So I have to shoot them all without auto-aim. But before that, I'm going to set off this trap. It sends out a huge number of grenades, all over the place. And this was kind of tense for me, because, I mean, it doesn't look like a big deal from here, but if a couple of hornets get past, it's really difficult for me to deal with them, and even after I start punching them, they'll get rid of them eventually, but it'll take a lot of damage. Plus it wastes a lot of time and it looks bad.
Yes. Yeah, so your preferred weapon for the hornets, is that the riot gun for you?
Yes.
Or?
If auto-aim is on, the Uzis are quite nice, but when it's off, I prefer the spread shot of the riot gun.
Okay, yeah. Not a bad way to mix it up, definitely. Yeah, I definitely do Uzis if auto-aim is on. It's a lot of fun. So,
yeah, and that's only when I absolutely have to. That is when they're in open air. If there's a floor or they're in a room, I think a grenade is just easier.
Right.
Because since they have pretty much no health, even if they take a little damage from the AoE, that's enough. So we're actually getting pretty close to the end.
Yes.
So was there anything you noticed in particular when you were going through this level?
I kept getting hit by those stupid rocks coming out of the lava when I was trying to do stuff.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So-
I probably should have mentioned it, but whenever there's lava and those things are coming up, there's a similar thing in Master Leaf's temple. Those things can do a huge amount of damage if you're unlucky. And it's not always easy to see them coming.
Right.
And
Yeah.
something I noticed is that there are a lot of cliffs and bridges. It's a very vertical kind of design. And I think they're taking advantage of the fact that this is one of the first games where you could put one surface on top of another and have both of them traversable.
Right.
And that one, well, I didn't want to die at the ends, and I had a invisibility smoke, so I figure I might as well use it. And that's the end.
Yes.
I hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you next time.
Later, guys.
Although that's the end of the level, I almost forgot. I want to talk to you a bit about how to deal with guardians a bit more safely. If you're in just about melee range and you're crouching, their eye blasts will go right over you. The spacing is a little tricky. You want to be inside the range of their blasts but outside the range of their swords, because if you go even a little bit further away, the blasts will not miss you and you'll take a bunch of damage. But it still works pretty well. Alright, see you next time.